Welcome to Heart Speak Podcast, episode 67, Letting the Light Shine. Well, did you enjoy your sojourn into the underworld, into the place of connection, the place of creativity? Did you meet with beings? Did you connect to yourself? And now, the moon is going to appear in the sky. We call it the Crescent Moon. And if you're lucky enough, you'll see that tiny sliver of silver as what I call the sun, S-O-N, disconnects from the mother energy. The dark moon gives birth to her son, and he becomes larger and larger towards the full moon. And she becomes smaller and smaller. That's the natural process. So what does the crescent moon mean? It means, what were the ideas that you collected when you went into the underworld, when you connected to the grid of creativity, the ocean of possibilities? You might have said, I didn't pick up anything. Okay, what I hope you connected to was yourself. And this has been the theme that I know I've been running along for a while, is what is unique about you? We are in such an amazing time of creation. But what we don't want to do is create from the old wounds or the old rules or the old mechanisms. Now, I'm not asking you to just do something completely different, although you may be ready to do that. But what is really inspiring you? What excites you? If it excites you, you're already doing it. Maybe you're not excited by anything at the moment. But remember when we did the numerology and you found what your action number is? Maybe you do astrology and you've looked at the positioning of your moon, so your lunar phase, or maybe you looked at your midheaven if you actually have had your chart done. All of these are ways in which you're saying this is what's inbuilt in you to do. And remember, we talked about what are the three things that really continue through your life, whatever you're doing. Mine is curiosity, optimism, enjoyment of being around people, and a determination. So that's 4. But what are the things that if someone met you, they'd say, that's definitely them. That never disappears. Humor, brightness. And if you did put loving or caring, what's unique about your loving? What's unique about your caring? You're being a mother, you're being a grandmother or grandfather. What's unique about you? Or I can synthesize information very quickly. I love looking at design. I'm really good with colors. What is something that just like, there she is again, she's doing it again. Does that make sense? So it's really important to find your essence. And that's what I mean by that. So that as this little seed is starting to poke towards the surface and push out and follow the light, it's being fed by those things that are naturally within you. Not like, oh, what should I do? Everybody's looking like, what's the job? Don't worry about the job. Be the core, let the core of yourself develop and the job will come towards you. Just as a partner will come towards you when your core is strong, if you want a partner. People are often obsessed with the outside. Remember, the outside is created by you. You are the creator of your reality. So whatever is strongly vibrating within you, then that's what's going to be expressed. Now, you might say at the moment, what's strongly vibrating within me is anxiety and fear. Okay, well, again, I could look at that, and if you want me to say something, which is, what are you fearful about? What's really getting you? Are you fearful of dying? As I said, everybody's going to die. What is your fear? And is it your fear alone? Is it just you, or are you just picking up it because you're such an empathic person and everybody else is? So let's turn fear upside down a little bit. There was a time years ago when I would wake up with anxiety, and I really couldn't understand why, because I wouldn't say that my life was in any way anxious making. And I thought it was funny because if I had been angry, a therapist would have said to me, go and be angry. And if I was sad, they'd say, go and cry. But when we're anxious, nobody says, go be more anxious. So I'd gone through this, I'd tried all the techniques of quietening myself down and doing things that like rooting myself, etc. But I just couldn't stop this anxiety in the morning. And I had a tendency to say in my mind, when I got tired, I'm shattered. It's maybe an English word, but shattered means like I'm just in many, many pieces. And so I had a tendency to say, oh, I'm shattered. That was a word we use. And so I put that to one side, but here I was in the anxiety, and I thought, okay, instead of running from this, I'm going to dive into it. And I dove into it, and it was as if the energy of anxiety shattered. And I realized that the anxiety was actually excitement. And the excitement was that something was trying to attract my attention to bring about change, but I was holding on to the old structure. So it was as if I had already expanded. And the difference between my expanded self and my little self that was trying to hold on to everything was the anxiety. But perhaps you would like to change that word from anxiety to vibration or even excitement. Now, I'm not saying that's going to work for everybody. Of course, there are anxieties. There are very fundamental anxieties about security and money and having food on your table, or even fear of being fearful in the place where you are. They're real fears. But I think there's a lot of free-floating anxiety happening at the moment. A lot of people just say, I'm anxious, I don't know why. And if I looked at their life or I asked them, what is it that I could help you with that would make you less anxious? They can't actually name it, except for, well, can you tell me everything's going to be okay? And the answer is no. That's just a way of our mind trying to handle things. So a lot of the anxiety that people are feeling at the moment is mental. It's just free-floating thoughts. This could happen, this could happen. But I come back to my shattering. Maybe when you're saying this could happen, it's already happened. You'll say, what? What's happened? Well, maybe you're expanding into a place that you're not familiar with, and the unfamiliarity is making you feel nervous. Yes? So I'm suggesting to you, you might want to say, oh, my energy field is being changed or is vibrating to a new frequency, and that's why I'm feeling like I am. And sometimes we do need to go off and have a run or dance, get rid of some of the excess energy. And I would suggest that at this time, this is good, yes, to do some mindfulness techniques and meditation, calming, but don't fall asleep. That's not helpful. So don't dose yourself up to fall asleep, even if it's in front of Netflix or whatever. Don't disappear. This is a time where literally everything is changing. And I'm not asking you to go out and do something, but expand into the change. Dance it, sing it, make voice, express it, even if you don't know what it looks like. How's that sound? And one of my favorite techniques when I'm working with intuition is to write a poem. So you might want to write a poem. If my soul could speak to me today, it would say, da, 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 da. What is your soul wanting to say to you? And everybody, when I ask them to do this, says, oh, I can't write a poem. And then I say, just start with that. If my soul could speak to me today, it would say, and I'm amazed. I've done this with thousands of people, and they come out with the most profound teachings. They're not coming from me, coming from you. So what's your soul wanting to say to you? What are you wanting to say? What are you wanting to say to this small shoot of energy coming up through the soil? Come on, you can do it. What does your soul want to say? So let the essence of your new birth come from within you. Let yourself know that there's a huge support team around you. You have a lot of cheerleaders saying, yay. And please, if you can, create from a place of excitement, enjoyment, and not from a should and a must. What is it you are moving away from? Because in this lunar phase, in this phase of the moon, we're literally pushing away, not from Mother Earth, but we're pushing away from old beliefs. what people have thought of us, where people have said you'll never make it. And it's not pushing away from their beliefs, but wherever they are is not where you're going. So you might even want to write a letter you never send and just say, really appreciate your help, because without your encouragement, I wouldn't have developed spiritual muscles to push away from you. So sometimes living with people who may be a little pessimistic or have never ever done anything, sometimes their pessimism helps inspire us to move on. And you may have already done this, but recognize that you're also, it's like leaving home. So like this little light of this moon is leaving home, leaving the mothership or the mother. And it's not always easy to leave the mother. It's very familiar just to stay where we are. So that's why I'm just encouraging you to take that risk. And as I've mentioned before, it's like as if you've got a clean slate, a clean piece of sand where you can make any design you want in it. And if you read My Heart of the Great Mother or the 2012 book, which is the same, you would learn that 40% of people, when given this clean piece of sand, will immediately recreate what has just been swept away. 40% will fall asleep, which can happen in front of Netflix or in just trying to meditate yourself away from a situation. 15% get anxious, confused. So this is good. And 5% will get it. And I always want to say there's probably part of me that falls asleep, part of me that recreates. So if you think you've already got it, you've probably lost the plot. So there's a lot going on as you push away, you push into yourself. Keep coming back to what is the unique me? Even if I go to a forest of trees that are all the same trees, they're all unique. What part of me is part of the collective? Again, I've mentioned, each of us has a unique piece of a jigsaw. What is your unique piece of the jigsaw to lay down on this earth? And just be careful that you're not one of these people who's trying to help other people put their piece of jigsaw down. Well, I'll go and help all those people, and then when I'm ready, I can put my piece of jigsaw down. That's a game we play, because we never put our piece of jigsaw down because we're so busy helping others. Or we don't think our piece is good enough. Now, a lot's happening also in the planets. And we've got Pluto squaring Mercury, and Pluto's also going to go retrograde during this crescent moon phase. What does that mean? Pluto is about secrets, the deep unknown. Mercury, communication. Lots is coming to the surface. A lot of information is coming up, which is really showing us things that are going on under the surface. And much of that is being talked of as misinformation. Anybody who doesn't follow the rules, it's seen as misinformation. I want you to inquire. I want you to be curious. I want you to say, why? What? Just as we're learning so much about the virus, we know that the numbers of people who have already been infected are much larger than the numbers we're being shown. That doesn't mean they're still infectious. These people were infectious. It takes about up to 8 to 10 days, and then you're no longer infectious. So what we're seeing is many more people have contracted this virus, are over it, moving on. And we need to have truth now. We need to have figures exposed. And this is what's going to be happening, certainly with Pluto going retrograde. You're going to see a lot of stuff coming to the surface. Things that have been said, the rules we've been following. It's like, no, we need to question. We need to question, not from a place of victimhood or from a place of aggression, but from a place of, I need to understand this. And if you can't help me to understand this, you're probably not the person I need to be speaking to. If someone can't explain themselves in the light, then they probably are not someone who we want to follow or even feel that they have integrity. Because Pluto is in Capricorn. Capricorn's about integrity. Are these people living in integrity? What is their ulterior motive? And this is going to be a theme that we're going to see throughout the summer. Things coming to the surface. Things not to be exposed to frighten you, but to release you. Again, letting your little seed and your little shoot up. It's like, well, if that's not true, I might as well just go and do this. How does that sound? So I feel that this next 3.5 days will just give you the chance to hopefully I've given you enough to put together. Don't worry about how this is going to turn out in the end. You're only a little shoot coming up through the soil. Can keep rooting to Mother Earth, keep rooting to the grid of opportunities, the ocean of possibilities. Keep connecting to your spirit guides, whatever you call them. If I'm not doing the right thing, make it really clear now. Connect to your heart. Keep focusing on not just your heart, but where do I feel most connected to the universe? And that might be watching a sunset or a rainbow or watching your children. Just keep that connection going. What is it that makes me feel at home? Because the more you feel connected through your root chakra, your heart chakra, and your crown chakra, through the spirit world, the more you will, your future will come to you. You don't have to worry about it. And whether that means still things are going to break away, fall away, know that that's okay. If things are meant to fall away from you, even as you push your head up through the soil, then know that you are being loved by the Great Mother. You are loved by the crone, and she only wants the best for you. Okay? So we are in this time of tremendous transformation. It's a doorway for us to pass through. And some people are passing through out of this life into another life. In other words, they're passing over, they're dying. And others of us are passing into another dimension or another type of world. And the dimensions aren't necessarily out there, they're inside ourselves. So please, it's a joy talking with you. I'll be back again in 3.5 days. Enjoy this crescent moon. Comments, please, if it's YouTube, or put them onto the Facebook, Great Mother Calling. Just love working with you. Keep watching the moon. If you get the chance to see the crescent moon, sing to her because it's so beautiful to see. Take care wherever you are. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to the HeartSpeak podcast with Dr. Christine Page. Please check out all HeartSpeak episodes in the podcast archive section on www.christinepage.com. HeartSpeak is also available on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, and now playing on iHeartRadio. You can also watch the archive podcasts on YouTube. Connect with Christine on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, including her newest Facebook group, The Great Mother Calling. Please do share with friends, family, and colleagues. Join us next time for another edition of HeartSpeak.